So beta, see, this is one shot is absolutely for all, all our students who have shown so much of trust in us, so that we are having all our one shot program one by one. And I really appreciate and admire the kind of energy, the kind of, the enthusiasm you all have shown for this one shot program, right? So I'll try to do justice with the orthopedics part, and I'm very, very sure that you all are already very confident with the orthopedics. But then again, in this short duration, I'll to cover up the entire orthopedics, somewhere in the form of flowchart, somewhere in the form of tables, and I'll try to make sure that I cover up everything that is required for all your exams, whether you are going for NEET or the INSET exam, right? Hi, good evening to all. All right. So now it is fine. Right, so we are ready. Everyone is ready. I can see so many people are still live. When anatomy, better anatomy, I'm not very sure. So team can tell you about that. So are we ready to start? All right. Okay. So before I start, this is how our workbook is. And those students who have been with me in the classroom, those who are revising with me with the workbooks, please open up your workbook. And this is going to be a very, very quick kind of revision, quick kind of program where we are going to revise all our topics in the same manner. But like before I start, okay, so you all know this journey, this quote is a very, very old one, very, very, a promising one and a real one, that a journey of 1,000 miles, it starts or begins with a single step, right? So now when you all have taken your steps towards your aim, towards your goal, towards your final achievement that you want to have, right? This is not the time to stop. This is a time when you all should believe in yourself. I know this time, time will happen when you will get anxious, when you will get little up and down in your thoughts, but that's absolutely okay. Once you have thought of something to be achieved, make sure that you work consistently for that, right? It is the discipline and the consistency which wins any game, right? So how long this session, better start to karne do. How long this session, if you're not even a part of it, how does it matter how long it is? Okay, so let's start. I can see many people over here. So let's start with this, the very first section, deformities, and what all I want you to understand, remember in deformities, the very, very quick one. See, the deformity here, you all know that how to define the deformities, the genu varum valgum, the coxa vara valgum, the cubitus varum valgum. So when the joint involved here is knee, the first word to be used here, it has to be genu. And the second word is about the deformity. So when the distal part is going towards the midline, I'm going to call it genu varus. Right, this is the deformity which is most commonly seen with the disorder called as rickets. You know that metabolic disorder. Now, these deformities, for image's sake, you should know. Second one is this deformity where the joint involved is elbow, and the first word to be used for elbow is cubitus. And the part beyond the elbow, it is going on the medial side. So I'm going to call it varus. Where do we see cubitus varus? Where do we have these kind of patients, this deformity? This is usually related to when the fracture supracondylar has gone into the complication of malunion, right? That is also called as what other deformity we call it? The varus, very good. That is also called as the gun stock deformity, right? So remember, it is about the concept of malunion. I expect all of you to remember the malunions, right? When you go for the third one, the joint involved here is the first MTP, and the first word I'm going to use here is hallux, right? Now this great toe is going on the lateral side. So what should I call it? Hallux, and the great toe is going to the lateral side, so I'm going to call it valgus, right? This is how you define any deformity. I'm very, very sure no to condylarity, better not supracondylar. Say that it is malunion of the supracondylar, right? You should be very, very clear about that. Every supracondylar is not going to show you varus deformity. It is the malunion of the supracondylar which is going to show you the deformity. I hope this is fine. Three most important one, very, very good. Now see, when we revise these disorders in the very recent years of the INSET exam, we have got questions from this very basic topic. When you look at the structure of a long bone, you know that end of the bone is called as epiphysis, metaphysis, central area diaphysis, metaphysis, and epiphysis again. And then we have the central area over here, which is going to be called as what? The physis, right? And the other name for the physis is what you call as the growth plate, right? Now, this growth plate, why exactly are we calling this as the growth plate? Now, understand this. You know very well that when you look at this epiphyseal area or the metaphyseal area, this microscopic zone here, epi towards the metaphyseal area, there are multiple microscopic zones, right? There are multiple microscopic zones, right? The zones, they will be starting from epiphyseal side towards the metaphyseal side, right? The very first zone we have is called as the zone of resting cartilage or the reserve cells, right? The very first one is the resting cartilage, or what you call as the germinal layer or the reserve cells, right? Second one is what we call as the zone of proliferation. Now the number of cells have to proliferate here, increase in number. So whether a person becomes taller in height, he remains short in height, it depends upon what the zone of proliferation. Number 3 is what we call as zone of hypertrophy. It is called as zone of hypertrophy. Now the cells will enlarge, and this hypertrophic zone is the most commonest one where we see most often the injuries, trauma. So trauma of the growth plate is related to the zone of hypertrophy. Then we have the number 4 zone, which is called as zone of mineralization, right? Which is called as zone of mineralization. It is not a separate zone though. It is just a zone below the hypertrophic zone, and the condition which is linked to this is rickets. Lack of mineralization is what we are calling as rickets. And then we have the last zone, which is called as zone of ossification. This zone of ossification, right? This is linked to the disorder what we learn as the collagen deficit. It is called as the scurvy, right? So this is how the disorders are. Now in the previous year INSET questions exam, we have been asked this question, that which is the most commonest zone of growth plate to be involved in injuries, trauma. It is zone of hypertrophy, right? Rickets involves which layer? The zone of mineralization. Scurvy shows you the changes where, in which zone? It is a zone of ossification. So do remember this. It is very, very important, right? Very good. Very good. Note to conduct. Mineralization is same as calcification zone. Yes, absolutely, Piyush. You are absolutely right. Mineralization, calcification is the same thing, right? So do remember the previous year question from here. It is trauma. Now we go to the next part here. When we see the patients of metabolic disorders, right? We have got the basics of the bone, and I want to very quickly revise before I go to the next page. See, when you talk about the composition of the bone, what all is required to make the bone? What all is required to make the bone? So composition of the bone is made up of broadly 3 things, right? The cells, the proteins, and the mineral component, right? Number 1 is what you call as the cell. Number 1 is the cell. Number 2 is what we call as the minerals, right? And number 3 is what we call as the protein, right? The cell which makes the bone is osteoblast, right? The cell which makes the bone is an osteoblast. The minerals which make the most of the constituent of the bone, they will be either the calcium, right, or the phosphate. And for their regulation, what we need is vitamin D. And the protein which is being secreted by the blast itself, the most predominant protein we have is type 1 procollagen. Now do remember that this combination of the cell and the protein has been given another name as well, and that is being called as osteoid, right? This is called osteoid. Now, when this osteoid, broadly, this osteoid makes how much part of the bone? It is only 20 or 25% of the bone. Rest of the 70% is being made by mineralization. Remember this. So that means minerals are the most important, composition of the bone. And most of your questions in your exam, they will be directed towards the minerals itself, right? So this is osteoid and the mineralization part. Now, one very important fact, one very important parameter, one very important concept here you have to remember. This is the basic composition. Now linked to the composition, when you talk about the pathologies, whenever we are going to talk about the pathologies, how we learn about the pathologies. So remember, when we have 3 components making the bone, one is a cell, one is a protein, and one is a mineral, right? One is a cell, one is a protein, one is a mineral. Now, when you just look at them, the cell, the culprit cells are always and always osteoclast, which creates a trouble in the bone. Right? So what kind of trouble the osteoclast can have? Any cell of the body can have 2 troubles: increase in the activity and no activity at all, right? So whenever there is an increase in the activity of osteoclast, bone gets what kind of disorder? The disorder we see is called as Paget's, right? But always remember the basic regulation of the cell, that whenever the clastic activity is raised, there has to be a raise in blastic activity. So Paget's is a disease of increase in bone turnover. Increase in clastic followed by increase in blastic. And if there is a defective clast, if it is not working at all, okay, if it is a defective clast, right, defective osteoclast, the disorder patient suffers from is called as osteoporosis, right, which is called as marble bone disease. Why marble bone disease? Because simply the only working cell is a blast. So bone will appear white like a marble, heavy like a marble, brittle like a marble. Okay, coming on to the protein. The most predominant protein we know is coming from the blast itself, and it is type 1 procollagen. Now this procollagen disorder can be divided into 2 categories. Either it is having a nutritional defect. Now, nutritional defect is what you call as scurvy, or there might be a genetic defect in the collagen.